The road to Auraxis, quarantine, and colonization. The Republic decided that nothing from Auraxis could return through the wormhole. They wanted to control the flow of personnel and knowledge back to Earth. In order to enforce such a quarantine, a livable situation had to be created around Auraxis. Orbital stations were set up around the planet, and quarters were created for an expeditionary force consisting of scientists and military personnel. Once the expeditionary force occupied the orbital stations, the wormhole was fitted with a failsafe, collapsing it into a microhole. This new microhole could now be controlled and powered up to allow new supplies or personnel to pass through. Though it was an exorbitantly expensive way to operate, the costs were considered justified. If the scientists stumbled upon something horrible that could pose a threat to Republic space, the wormhole could also be collapsed instantly. If this were to occur, they would seal Auraxis away from Republic space forever. The expeditionary force soon planned for a single continent to be chosen for colonization. The continent was given the name Forceral, due to the abundance of forests that grew there. Amazingly Earth-like, the continent was a lush and attractive prospect to the colonists. Once colonization was completed, attention returned once again to the warp gates. Scientists tried to understand how the structures worked. They wanted to decipher the power sources, interpret the exposed technology, and tried to determine more about the warping effect itself. They soon discovered a global lattice, a network of predictable patterns allowing travel around the world using the warp gates. Scientists discussed endlessly about whether or not to send living creatures through the gates. The subject became all but meaningless when a drop pilot, tired of the countless debates, took it upon himself to see what would happen. Without warning, he flew into the warp gate. Almost immediately, he emerged at the location predetermined by the global lattice. To their amazement, they found both the pilot and his craft to be completely intact. Despite the scientists pleading to examine him, the Republic military courts acted swiftly. Upon return, the pilot was immediately apprehended for endangering all of humanity by potentially activating an alien device. The pilot was sentenced to his death and promptly executed. It wasn't until a day later, an automated orbital satellite discovered a surprising life sign on the desert continent they had named Ishandar. An aircraft was quickly sent to investigate this historic discovery, and they were shocked by what they found. The executed man sitting beneath a tree, waiting patiently to be rescued.